Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Scarlet with Scarlet's Little Crafty Corner, and today is week 3's whip and chat for the April event that we're doing with Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0 group. If you are not a part of that group, please go over to Facebook and join. I will leave the link to everything that I discussed today in my description box, so y'all go check that out. But this is the April event, and it is Feelin' Groovy, or hashtag Feelin' Groovy, and it is all things groovy. This is open to all crafts. Doesn't have to be just diamond painting. This can be paint by numbers, crochet, resin, woodworking, ceramics. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. Any craft that is in the theme of feeling groovy is welcome. So, I am just going to say thank you to everyone who is participating. I am blown away because I really didn't think that I would have this many people participating, and I am very thankful and I appreciate each and every one of you. I've had, people that have commented on every single video that I have put out so far. If they've got Facebook, they have, posted their progress pictures in the Facebook group, which I have been putting a post every Saturday that this is the end of week whatever, and please post your progress pictures in the comment section. And I've had a lot of people who are participating in that. So if you are participating in the Feelin' Groovy event, I need you to comment in the videos and or post your progress pictures and participate in the Facebook group. That way I know at the end of the month when this event is completed, I will know who has participated so that your name can go in for the giveaway, which is right here. Now, the tote bag, the Feelin' Groovy notebook, we have got release papers, and we have got a tumbler. Now, this all comes from JeniRose Designs, and she is on Facebook, link in the description box. You can go to her Facebook group and you can look at all the things that she makes and sells. She not only has these type of items, but she also does like coffee mugs, tons of release papers, anything that you could probably think of, she could probably make for you. Any kind of design that you would like on any of these things, she could probably do. She also does cover minders. So go check out JeniRose Designs on Facebook. And again, her link will be in my description box. And I just want her to know that I appreciate her so much for sponsoring this event with the products that she has sent me for the giveaway. So I really need everybody who wants to participate in the event to be eligible for the giveaway. I need you to participate so that I can take your names and have them at the end of the month. All right, so I'm trying to think. Okay, all right. Also, in order to be eligible for the giveaway, it has to be U.S. residents only. I apologize for that. I just cannot afford the shipping that it's going to cost to send overseas. So, yeah, it's going to have to be U.S. only. But that doesn't mean that you can't participate if you live elsewhere. Please, please, please participate. So link to Jenny Rose in my Facebook, or in my description box. Facebook group, Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0 will also be in the description. My email, if you do not have Facebook, you can email me your canvas, your progress pictures. You can email me questions if you want to. All that, my email is in my description box. All right, I am going to pause. I'm going to move this stuff, and we'll get into this whip and chat. Okay, so I hope everyone has had a great week. I hope you're enjoying the event. I have really enjoyed it. I honestly was kind of nervous about doing this event, but the more I've done, I guess the more fun it has become. Although I will have to say that trying to come up with a game plan for each week's video has kind of been hard. So I hope you enjoy listening to every week's video. Yeah. So, all right. I am up to about almost halfway. Once I do this section up here, then I will be half completed. But right now I am doing this part, and I have been going all the way across. I don't know if anybody else does this. I just started doing it probably about a month ago. But I find that with any diamond painting that has all the black outline, I do the black first anyway. It doesn't matter what canvas I'm doing, but I have found that if I just go one whole row across and do all the black outline, then it just goes faster. Once I get the outline done, then I just go back in and I fill in the colors. I had to pause there for a minute. So, but yeah, I have just found that I work faster. Instead of doing section and then this section, I just go all the way across. Do all my 310s, all that outline, and then I just come right back over here and I get the next color, and I'll do it all the way across, then get the next color, do it. I don't know. It seems like it goes faster for some reason. So that's what I am going to be doing. And I went ahead and pulled all the colors out that I will be using. I'm almost done with this row. So that's all the colors that I have left for this row. And then I will go up here and start my 310 outline. And y'all, since we have been doing this event on April the 1st, I stuck my glue dots. That's what I use in my single placer is I use 2 micro mini glue dots. And then I have got putty in my multi-placer. I have not changed this yet. And it's still good as when I put it in the first, that first day. But I have done all of this using the same stuff. You cannot go wrong with glue dots, I'm telling you. Okay, so what color am I going to start with? Let's just go ahead and we'll just go ahead and do these. These are, what are they called? The dust, I don't remember. Fairy dust. So that's what we're going to be working on. And I hope, y'all, I went back and I watched my video last week, and I don't even think, which most of the time when somebody is listening to a whip and chat, they're really not paying attention to what you're doing. They're just listening while they're working. But when I went back and looked, I don't think y'all could see half of what I was doing because I had it pulled, my canvas pulled so far down so that I could see it. So I'm going to attempt to do this with my canvas up a little further so that y'all can see, because I am going to be working from here to here. And I think that is in frame. So anyway, hopefully y'all are not watching, y'all are just listening. Okay, so we are going to get started with this. Like I said, I am so happy with the turnout that I have had with this event. I really didn't think I would. I figured I'd have a couple of, you know, people that would join, and then I figured, you know, they would probably drop off about midway. But so far, everyone who has joined is still with me, and they're still participating. So thank you. And that was also, I was like, you know, this is my first time hosting an event. So I was like, well, if nobody joins or participates, then I'm not doing any more, because it's really kind of nerve-wracking to do these events. And, well, it is for me anyway. And I have had my channel for over 5 years, and I'm always nervous when I do a video, even after 5 years. And then trying to, you know, come up with all these questions and, you know, just trying to make the event fun has really been, it's not really a hardship, but it is nerve-wracking, because I have Googled so much stuff for this event, for this 60s and 70s era, that I should be an expert on this. I have learned quite a bit, though. You know, looking up questions and the trivia, because if you're in the Facebook group, I have been posting a trivia question for the 60s and 70s era every day. I think there at the very beginning, I did miss 3 or 4 days, but I started doing it, and I have kept up with it pretty much every single day, of, you know, putting some kind of trivia question. And they're just random trivia questions. I have got so many pages printed out of different questions that's based on the 60s and 70s. And I've just been kind of going through and picking fun ones to put on the Facebook group. But apparently, I mean, everybody's enjoying it. So I'm glad of that. All right, well, let's see. Today I am going to touch on 60s and 70s food. Now, I have already done candy, and, you know, we did candy, we've done cartoons, we did a little bit of TV shows. Let's see, what else did I already touch on? Toys, games. So I thought today I would do the different types of food that we ate back in the 60s or 70s. Some foods that are no longer, you can no longer get. So the first thing, and I know a lot of you are going to remember these. Oh my God, I loved them so much, were the Jell-O pudding pops. Do y'all remember Jell-O pudding pops? Oh my God. I loved the chocolate Jell-O pudding pops. And then I think they had a swirl one, I think. I'm almost positive they did. What about tuna noodle casserole? Now, my mom used to make tuna noodle casserole because it came in a box, kind of like, well, it was with the hamburger helpers, except for it was tuna noodle, and I love that stuff. The tuna noodle casserole that they have in a box now is not the same. It is nowhere near the same. I don't know if any of y'all ever ate that, but it's nothing alike. It's nothing. And they also have a frozen tuna noodle casserole. I didn't care for that either. There's just something about the tuna noodle casserole back in the day that was really good. But yeah, the ones that they have now, I just don't care for them. They do not taste anywhere near the same as they did. So there's one, or there, well, that's another one that is gone. Okay, what about cereals? Do y'all remember that variety pack? Now, I don't know. They might still have it. I don't know. But it was a variety pack of Kellogg's cereal. And I think you either got 8 or maybe 10 of those little boxes of cereal. It's like single serve. You know, the box was enough for like one person, and it had like Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops. It had Sugar Pops. I don't even remember what all was in it, but I remember my mom used to get them a lot, and my grandmother would get them, and I've not seen them, so I guess those are no longer available. But they were great for, you know, individual, especially if you had like a lot of kids, and you know, you could go in there and pick what cereal you wanted. I'm sure there was lots of fights over who got the last box of whatever, but I enjoyed it. I liked it. Okay, Sugar Pops. That is one that you can no longer find that I know of. They used to be, I think, no, Sugar Pops. There was one cereal that I remember when I was a little kid, and I loved them. And they were like yellow puff. I don't even know. They were yellow and they were puffy, and the cereal box itself, I think, was yellow. And I'm wanting to say it had a cowboy on the front of it, but I can't remember. Those, I loved those. And you cannot find those anymore. All right. Do y'all remember Dinky Donuts? Yep. Little donut shaped cereal. Those were good. And I think nowadays they actually carry some of this stuff. It's just they have renamed it and repackaged everything, but they're kind of the same cereals. What about, oh my God, y'all. Do y'all remember the Frankenberry and the Count Chocula cereals? And then there was, oh my gosh, there was like 4 or 5 of them. There was the Frankenberry, which was Frankenstein. Count Chocula, which was the vampire. Boo Berry. There was Boo Berry. He was a ghost. There was a strawberry one. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I should have looked that up because I don't remember. Honeycombs. Apple Jacks. Tricks. And Cocoa Puffs. Do y'all remember what the saying was with Cocoa Puffs? I guess he was a bird. Was he a cocoa bird? But what do y'all remember what he said in the commercials about Cocoa Puffs? It was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So yeah, those were all good cereals. I think I ate all of them. So that brings me to my first question. What was y'all's favorite cereal as a kid? And do you still eat it to this day? I don't eat cereal very often. I buy it, but mostly I like eating cereal as a snack at night. Sorry, y'all. I had to pause again. I had a cat wanting out. Okay, what was I saying? I still buy cereal. We eat it, but I like it at night. I'm not a cereal breakfast person. I like cereal at night, and I like just eating dry cereal as a snack. But I will have to say that my favorite all-time favorite cereal was or is Raisin Bran and Frosted Mini Wheats. Those are my go-to cereals. Those are the ones I really, really like. So, in the comment section, tell me what your favorite cereal was growing up as a kid, and do you still eat it? Okay, so moving on. Chips and snacks. Now, some of these, I think you might still be able to find them. I'm not sure. I know a couple of them. And y'all, there's tons. I just picked and chose. Just like with the cereal, there's so many cereals that they don't make anymore, or, you know, came out in the 60s or the 70s. But I just had to pick and choose, or I'd be sitting here talking about cereal for 2 hours. So chips and snacks. Do y'all remember the cans? The big yellow cans of Charles chips? Oh my goodness. My grandfather used to buy those. And they were so good. They were so fresh. And I don't know. There was something about the flavor. I don't know if it was because they cooked them in a certain type of oil or what. But they have a flavor of their own, and it is so delicious. And I don't think that you can find those anymore. But if anybody knows where you can, please let me know, because I love those. Okay, doodads. Do y'all remember doodads? I do. I used to love them things. And those, to me, I guess they're kind of like Chex Mix, but they were like these little, they were about that long, like, it wasn't pretzels. It was like a bread, like, I don't know what you would call it, but they had just different little things in there, kind of like Chex Mix. And they were really good. I really liked those. Hot fries. Now, the hot fries that I remember back in the day, they weren't like fire hot. And the ones that I've seen nowadays, they're like flaming. And, I don't know how hot that is, but I don't want to even try it just in case. So, if anybody has ever had the flaming hot fries, are they like real hot, or are they kind of like a barbecue type hot? Because barbecue potato chips used to be my all-time favorite. Matter of fact, my very, 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 very favorite chip that I used to get when I was a kid, other than Funyuns, I always get a bag of Funyuns, they were barbecue chips. You can no longer find them. I have looked, I have Googled, you can't find them. So apparently they just don't make them anymore. But it was the Ozark barbecue. Oh my God. It was like a sweet, smoky barbecue flavor. But the chips, the bag, had this man. I can remember a man on the bag with a big, he might have been a sombrero hat on. And the potato chips, the flavoring that was on them was like red. It was like the color red. It wasn't barbecue. It was red. And, oh my goodness, it was so good. They were not hot. They were salty, barbecue-y. But they had like a smoky type flavor to them. But I have not been able to find those since I was a kid. And they were my favorite. Like, all-time favorite chip. And I'm not a sweet, you know, I don't like sweet. I'll eat them every once in a while. But I am more of a salty person. Which it's funny. But I like salty snacks. I guess what I should say. I'm not salty. I just like salty snacks. Alright. Do y'all remember potato skins? Those were good. And they came in sour cream and onion. I remember they came in barbecue. I want to say they might have came in plain also. But they were kind of oval shaped. And it looked like, well, I mean, they were potato skins. It was the skins of the potatoes that they would fry up. But I liked them. I thought they were pretty good. Y'all, I know I am going to miss so many of these colors. I'm going to end up probably going back and filling in. I mean, it's kind of inevitable that you miss some here and there. And usually when I go to put it back in the container is when I see where I have missed some. Okay. Let's see. What about tidbits? Do y'all remember tidbits? They were kind of like Cheez-Its. Now, today's Cheez-Its, I guess. But they were like a stick. They were like a thick stick chip. But those were really good. And shoestring potatoes or potato sticks. Do y'all remember those? And sometimes you could find them. They came in a can. I remember getting those when I was a kid. And they would come in a can. And you'd pop the lid on it. Like, you know, had that pull tab. And then inside it was potato chip sticks. I used to love them. And let's see. I think that's about all of the potato chips. Do y'all remember Jiffy Pop? They still make that. Now, we used to get it and take it camping. And it was the popcorn that came in that, I guess, pan that had the aluminum and the handle. And you'd put it over the heat. And it would puff up and make the aluminum come up. And then it would pop. And then you'd have all your popcorn right there in like a bowl type container. I remember those. I remember taking those when I was a kid. We'd go camping, and we'd always take a couple of those. And like I said, you can still get those. I've seen those at Walmart. So you can still get those. And, okay, what about the original? The original ding-dongs. They just don't make them the same. They have ding-dongs, but they're not the same. And I remember back in the day, they would be in aluminum, like an aluminum foil package, and Suzy Q's. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if they still make Suzy Q's, but I remember that was one of the sweets that you could get when we went to school. You could purchase them separate. And I remember everybody always used to get the Suzy Q's. And if you didn't get there quick enough at the cafeteria, they'd be gone. So those, I really used to love those. All right. All right, what about drinks? So back in the day, do any of y'all remember knee-highs? I remember getting those at the little corner store. And there was Tab. Do y'all remember Tab? The drink Tab? I know I drank it, but I don't remember, you know, what it tasted like or anything. What about Hawaiian Punch in the candy? I remember those. Okay, so they still make Hawaiian Punch, but now it's in a jug. But back when I was a kid, they had the Hawaiian Punch, and it was in a metal can, and you had to get a one of those can openers that had the little prong on it, and you would have to open, you know, punch it down into the lid on both sides in order to open it. That's how you open it, and then you'd pour it. I remember that. Those were good. Crystal Pepsi came out in the 60s and 70s. I never drank that. I remember it, but I never drank it. It looks like it's pushed up. Let's see. Do y'all remember Bubble Up? The drink Bubble Up? I don't remember it. It did come out either in the 60s or 70s. I don't remember which year or which decade. Everything that I have talked about from the very first video that I put out has all been 60s and 70s era. Now, if it goes into the 80s, 90s, whatever, but it either originally debuted in the 60s or in the 70s. So, yeah. And then Surge. Now, I remember Surge. And Surge, I remember my son was born in the 90s. And I remember that being around, and it might still be around, I don't know. But I remember that being around and him drinking it back when he was younger, which, you know, was not a very smart thing to do because Surge is, I guess, would be considered nowadays dang, one of those drinks, kind of like Red Bull, an energy drink. There you go. Couldn't think of it. Okay, what about now? Oh, y'all, I love these. I love them. I love them. I love them. I have only been able to find them a couple of times. And I usually can only find them at Kroger's. But they're just really hard to find. So I don't know if it's something that they carry every once in a while. But do y'all look, I told y'all I missed that whole section right there. Do y'all remember Clearly Canadian? Okay, so those are a bottle. Matter of fact, I did have one of the bottles. I guess I threw it away. But it was a clear glass bottle that was kind of shaped like a teardrop. You know, the bottom was fat and then it got skinny as it went up. It has a twist lid on it. And my favorite was the blackberry. They come in different flavors, but it's clear. It's like a, it's kind of like a flavored water, but not. But they're so good. But they're called Clearly Canadian. And I used to drink them like crazy when I was younger. And like I said, you can't hardly find them nowadays. And the only place I have been able to find them is at Kroger's. I have looked all over Walmart. I think you can actually buy them off Amazon. But I do know that Kroger's carries them. You just got to really look for them. And I mean, it's kind of like an Easter egg. Sometimes they're there. And, you know, they have plenty of them. And then there's times where you really got to look for them. And they might be out. It might take them a month or two to get them back in. Okay. Y'all, I apologize. It is, I guess, one of those days. Okay, so where was I at? The Clearly Canadian. Okay. What about Country Time in the can? Like the Country Time lemonade or the Country Time tea, whatever was in a can. Now, I used to drink those. They weren't my favorite, but I do remember them. Jolt Cola. Any of you drink the Jolt Cola? What about cream soda? I love cream soda. That's something I've not had in, oh my gosh, I don't even know when the last time I drank a cream soda. I don't know if they still make those or not either. I'm sure they do, but it's probably not the original cream sodas. Frescas. I used to like Fresca. They had, if I remember correctly, they had like a, they had their own taste. But I do remember, I remember drinking those. And then, oh, what is the ones that used to have, like, all the different flavors? Like strawberry, grape, orange, blueberry. What were those? Was that the knee-highs? Or was that something else? What am I thinking? I don't know. If I remember what it is, I'll put it in. I'll put it up there somewhere. So that is drinks. So, second question is, what was your favorite drink as a kid? Or what is your favorite drink? We'll just leave it at that. Because like I said, a lot of these, they don't even carry anymore. My favorite drink, I have been trying to drink more water lately. Because, honestly, I do not drink enough water. So I've been trying to drink more water. But Mellow Yellow is my drink, and I am trying to cut down on those. But of course, I like my sweet tea, and I have to have my coffee in the morning. So, again, what is your favorite drink? Leave it in the comment section. That is question number 2. Okay, get on there. All right, so here is a couple of trivia questions. Some of y'all might know these, some of y'all might not. I'm not even gonna lie. Food was a hard category to look up because there's a lot of stuff that they made, and like meals that I had never heard of, and I didn't really know if anybody else would have heard of them. So I really had to be picky with some of these questions. But this is something that my mom used to make when I was a kid, and I used to love it, and I have not had it since I was probably 20. So it's been a long time. So the question is, what was the name of the popular fruit, nut, and whipped topping salad that was a staple in the 1970s? Now, there's going to be a couple different answers to this, but I grew up calling it, which the answer is Watergate salad. And that's what I grew up calling it, was Watergate salad. Now, I remember I had my mom's recipe. I've never made it, but I do have the recipe. And I know that it calls for Cool Whip. It calls for, I think, drained pineapple, crushed pineapple. Of course, nuts if you want to put it. I think she used to put walnuts in it. And lime jello, because I remember it was green. And then there was something else, maraschino cherries. And she also put the oranges, oh my gosh, what was the name of those little oranges? They come in a can. I can't think of what they're called. But yeah, it was called Watergate salad. Now, there is a similar one, which is like an orange salad, which is like with the oranges and grapes and stuff. But the one that I remember is Watergate salad. And then, like I said, I used to love that. Okay, so here is a question. What decade did McDonald's start serving breakfast? Y'all, I did not even know this. So this is one that I learned. Honestly, I thought McDonald's just started. I thought all the restaurants, fast food restaurants, I thought all of them just started serving breakfast, maybe back in the 90s or 2000s. I don't know. But the answer is 1970. 1970, McDonald's started serving breakfast. So I did not know that. All right. Which spicy bar food, still popular today, originated at the Anchor Bar restaurant in upstate New York in 1964? Do y'all know? Y'all know the answer? The answer is buffalo wings. And y'all, here's something that you may not know of me. Well, I mean, you're not going to know. I don't like them. I do not like chicken wings, period. I have eaten so much darn chicken in my life that I am almost to the point where I can't even stand chicken. And I hate getting it and having to, clean it and cook it and all that crap. Because to me, they have, chicken is just gross anymore. They do not process it in the factory like they used to. And I don't know. I just, something about it. And like I said, we eat so much chicken. I cook so much chicken that I have just gotten to the point where I don't like it. And I will not, well, okay. We went to Kentucky Fried Chicken one day. Now, this was a long, long time ago. They had their buffet at Kentucky Fried Chicken, and we went and had chicken. And I used to eat, the chicken legs or chicken breast. And I bit into a piece of chicken, not realizing it until I had probably eat almost half of a piece of chicken. And it was not done all the way. It was pink. And from then on, I have not been able to eat chicken with a bone. I know, that is crazy, but I can't. I can't. It's just like, blech, gross. Can't do it. So, next question is, although first marketed in 1959, which drink was largely unknown until it became known as the drink of the astronauts in 1960? You all know this one. And I'm sure every kid in the 60s, 70s, probably still today, drink Tang. I used to love it. My kids growing up loved it. Now they drink Sunny D. But, yeah, back in the day, it was Tang. Which food feast began in January 1967, centered around an annual gathering? Y'all, I did not know this. I was kind of shocked by it. The answer is, well, let me read it again. Which food feast began in January of 1967 and centered around an annual gathering? So what happens every year? What do we have every year? Super Bowl party. I did not know that. So I learned something new there. In 1964, Post introduced a new food product called Country Squares. However, a competitor was more efficient in getting their products on the shelves, taking over this pastry niche. Which brand was this? This one's pretty easy. It is Pop-Tarts. Yep. I was never real crazy about Pop-Tarts. I'm still not that crazy about Pop-Tarts, even though they have so many different flavors now. But I will come more of eating a Pop-Tart. Y'all, this is going to sound weird. I will take a Pop-Tart and I will put it in a toaster oven or microwave, whatever, for just a few seconds, just enough to get it good and warm. And then I will spread butter all over the top. And if you've never tried that, try it because it is so good. But yeah, that's how I will eat a Pop-Tart. Now, to just go in there and get the box of Pop-Tarts, open them up and eat them, nah. I can, but I had rather not. I don't even know when the last time I bought Pop-Tarts were. All right. Next question. Y'all, I have no idea how long this video is because of where I've had to pause and restart. Okay, so which food item introduced in the U.S. in 1965 featured commercials with young children saying, "And I helped"? Now, I don't remember, which I wasn't born in the 60s, obviously, but I'm sure that the commercials probably carried over into the 70s, or maybe they got, you know, different catchphrases, because I don't remember that. But the answer is shake and bake. And my mother used to make shake and bake chicken all the time, and I have on occasion made it myself throughout the years. A matter of fact, I have got a box of shake and bake in my pantry that I bought probably 4 or 5 months ago and was going to do just to have something different. But I haven't used it yet. All right, in 1967, Procter & Gamble addressed consumer complaints about broken and stale snacks sold in air-filled bags by producing what snack food? That would be Pringles. That's how Pringles started. Which, you know, nowadays, you can't even get a full bag of chips when you buy chips. It's ridiculous. Plus, they're so expensive anymore. Good Lord. They're just outrageous. I mean, still buy them, but they're outrageous. And then, like I said, you get more air than you do chip. All right, next question is, which condiment was first introduced in single-serving packets in the 1960s? This is pretty easy. I mean, if you think about it, you know, what condiments comes in little packets? Ketchup. So the answer is ketchup. All right, y'all. Now, this is a question, but it's also a song. And if you remember, well, if you were born in the 60s or the 70s, probably even the 80s, you will remember this commercial. What iconic fast food item was invented in 1967 consisting of 2 beef patties, slice of cheese, lettuce, onion, and a special sauce? Yep, that would be the Big Mac. And they had that jingle that would get stuck in your head. And no, I'm not going to sing it. But you probably did as I was asking the question. But I thought that was funny. That's the only reason I put that question in there. All right, let me see. What else do I have? Okay, we have a few more. Y'all, I have no idea how long this is going to be. What popular dessert was invented in 1958 and became a staple of many 1960s and 70s parties? Do y'all know the answer to this one? Answer is Jell-O molds. And they would have Jell-O molds with pudding or cheese. Ugh. Okay, what was the name of the popular 1960s snack that was a mixture of popcorn, potato chips, and pretzels? Anybody remember these? They were Chip-O-Duo. That was the name of them. What flavor of soda was a major trend in the 60s, often associated with a specific cereal brand? Answer is cherry Coke. I know I'm going a little fast. What was the name of the popular 70s breakfast cereal that featured a character named Captain Crunch? Well, that was stupid because the answer is Captain Crunch. Okay, anyway. Let's see. What was the name of the popular 60s and 70s snack that involved a combination of cheese, crackers, and fruit? Well, that's another one. The answer's in the question. It's a cheese and cracker platter. Okay, here's one. What type of food was a popular choice for school lunches in the 60s and 70s? And it often involved canned goods and processed ingredients. Well, that's a stupid one, too. Y'all, I am so sorry. These are stupid. It's just school lunch. The answer is school lunch. That's just dumb. Okay, so anyway, question number 3 is, leave in the comments section, what was your favorite school cafeteria food when you were growing up? What was your favorite food when you would go to school? If you ate lunch in the cafeteria, what was your favorite food? Y'all, I can tell you what mine is right now, and I would give anything if I could have some now. And that was the square school pizza. Oh my God. It was the best. I know that there is a recipe that's floating around to where you can make it at home, but I do not have the patience for all that. I just want some and I want to eat it. But if you remember back in the day, they would get those big sheet pans and they would have that pizza on there, and it was all cut into rectangles. Actually, it wasn't squares, it was rectangles. And it was so greasy, and oh my God, I can taste that stuff now. I loved it. That was my favorite. The second thing would have to be the cheeseburgers. So that would be mine, was the lunchroom pizza, and then I guess cheeseburgers. Okay, and let me see what other questions, if any, because these are kind of dumb. I might just go ahead and wrap this up. Let's see. Well, here's a question. It's not about food, but which groovy 70s accessory changes colors based on your vibes? That would be a mood ring. Okay. Well, anyway, that's all I got on food and, drinks and, okay, so I am going to wrap this up, this whip and chat up. I don't know how long I've talked. This has been a hot mess because of all the distractions in my background. So, to recap, in my comment section, question number 1 is, what was your favorite cereal growing up, as a kid growing up, and do you still eat it? I think that was my first question, wasn't it? Let me make sure. Yes. Question number 2 is, what is your favorite drink? Leave that in the comments section. Question number 3 is, what was your favorite school lunchroom food? And bonus question number 4. What is something that you ate as a kid that your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, somebody cooked for you that you still to this day make and eat? There's your bonus question. Me, my mom used to make salmon patties when I was a kid, and I love salmon patties, and I will make them every once in a while. My husband doesn't eat them, but me and the kids would. So every once in a while, I'll get salmon and I'll make some salmon patties or meatloaf. Matter of fact, y'all, I'm going to be making a meatloaf this week for supper. So that is your number 4 bonus question, is what is something that you ate as a kid that was prepared by either your mom, dad, grandparents, that you still make and eat to this day? So I hope everybody enjoyed this video. This is, like I said, week 3 for hashtag Feeling Groovy, which is the April event in the Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0 Facebook group. And all the links to the Facebook group, JeniRose, and everything that I said will be in my description box. And please continue to participate by answering the questions in the comments of my videos, leaving your progress pictures. Either you can email me or you can post them in the Facebook group on Saturdays. Email me on Saturday, Sunday, post them in the Facebook group Saturday, Sunday. And, you know, in the Facebook group, I've been asking trivia questions. Y'all can go answer those, play along. Yeah, so like I said, I hope you've enjoyed it. And also, happy birthday to those who have had a birthday in the month of April. I have noticed there's quite a few April birthdays. So if you have already had your birthday, well, happy birthday. And yeah, I guess that's all I got. So I hope you've all enjoyed this. And until next week's video, I will see you all later. Bye, y'all.